everybody. Good morning, and welcome to Wow Wednesday with Women's Prosperity Network. This is your midweek boost of information, education, inspiration, and connection with the WPN community. And I'm so excited that you could be with us this morning. I'm Trish Carr, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network. And every week we are here with another great episode to share with you some wisdom and some education so that you can keep moving, grooving, and going in your business and your life. And today, my guest is the fantastic Nancy Jones. Nancy, I'm so happy to have you with us.
Oh, thanks. It's wonderful to be here. And especially on Valentine's Day, the day of love, the highest vibration. I'm so lucky.
Yes, the high vibration of love. Everybody put that out today as much as you can. And remember that it's also self-love Valentine's Day. So give yourself a big hug and make sure you love on yourself as much as you love on all the people in your life. Absolutely. Nancy Jones, are you in Tucson?
I am.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful city. Oh my goodness. What's the winter like there?
Well, today it's right now it's 39 and it's going to get to 72.
Okay, wow, that's a huge jump.
Well, dry air, it doesn't hold the heat. So at
That'll do
night
it.
it gets chilly.
Yeah, that'll do it. Well, let me tell everybody we are going to have a great conversation today. And the conversation's around leadership. Nancy is a John Maxwell leadership coach, and she's a mindset expert and a leadership expert. And she delivers these awesome high energy presentations. And what she does is she challenges the people in the audience, you, to transform from the inside out. She's easy. She gives you easy strategies. Today, we're going to get some really good strategies. And you know what I'm really excited about, Nancy, in this conversation is the conversation we're going to have about the role your brain plays. Because,
Oh.
yes, this for me is big because I'm a big fan of Dr. Amen, who you see on PBS, who talks about how the brain functions. And Nancy is an accomplished neuroencoding training specialist with Dr. Amen. I always want to say Amen. It's Amen. She's also a disc consultant. When she's not delivering that special sauce, she's hanging out with her grandsons, Ben and TJ. How old are they?
Ben is going to be 13 this month.
Oh no.
I know it's
old.
And TJ turned 8 in April or in January.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Nancy Jones, thank you so much for being with me today. I'm so glad that you could make it.
Thanks. Me too. I've had some technology issues. I had new internet installed Monday afternoon.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's been interesting. There you go. Challenging. That's okay. I'm up for a challenge.
Well, and you know, it doesn't every day present some kind of a challenge, right?
That's the truth.
Yeah, and it's how we deal with those that matters, right? A small aside, I had technical difficulties a few weeks ago, and I'm on Zoom while this is all happening. Like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. I'm trying to get things to work and they're not. And I'm just staying cool, calm, and collected. And at the end of the day, my back was killing me. And I said to Susan, what is my back bothering so much for? She said, well, obviously you were holding back how you were really feeling when you were going through all that technological problem, and it manifested in my back. So I hope you feel that you're a little annoyed about it and don't let it go to your back.
Hey, I'm feeling like it's fixed. So,
well, good. Well, and
yeah.
you know about this because this is how the brain gets what it needs, regardless of what you think you're controlling, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's the story you tell yourself. So
exactly.
it can either be the end of the world or just another hill to climb.
Yes. And that's such a big thing, is to understand that what we say to ourselves creates our reality,
That's the
right?
truth.
Isn't that the truth? So let's talk about neuro leadership coaching and what it can do for me and what can I understand that'll make a difference for me. So we hear the word leadership, right? And for me, I always look at leadership in my own life first. What do you think? Tell us a little bit about leadership.
Well, and that's exactly where it starts. You're so right. Leading yourself is your first step. You know, that's you can't lead others if you can't lead yourself. So you got to start with you, and it's a you and you game. And so what I when I joined the Maxwell company, I had a misguided perception of leadership. I thought, you know, anyone who was in a position of authority or uh, a title or the corner office, that those were the leaders. But there's a big difference between a manager and a leader.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone is a leader to some extent. Moms at home who are getting their kids to bed are leading them and growing them and leading them to paths that are going to be bright futures for them. Anyone who has a direct sales team is a leader, and it's all about learning really what a true leader is and does, what they look like, how they act. So John's 21 Laws of Leadership to me is a foundational piece for that.
Yeah, John Maxwell, for those of you who don't know, Nancy is certified through the Maxwell Institute. I think that's what it's called, right? And Maxwell, last time I heard, I counted, he had 77 books on leadership. It's probably more than that now. And
Yeah.
every single one of them gives you another new nugget, another thing to learn. Because, first of all, you're right, Nancy, there's a big difference between leading and managing. And April mentioned that in the chat. And Laura also mentioned in the chat that you can't lead others if you can't lead yourself, right? It's that whole oxygen mask thing. So,
Right.
so many of our listeners, many of us are what we call single shingle. You know, we're individual business owners, entrepreneurs. And if we have a team, it's made up of our web designer, the people who help us with automation. Many of us don't have employees. So can you talk a little bit about leadership from the perspective of the sole or small business owner and the difference really, you know, between being someone in corporation who's leading 50 people as opposed to the individual sole owner who's leading people in a different way. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I don't see it as being a huge difference. It's a leader is a leader. We're going to find areas where, uh-oh, where we lead other people, and the dog just is bone. Hold on, sorry.
That's okay. We love the real world of Wow Wednesday. It's the real world. What was the dog doing?
So his bone is behind the TV
Oh,
stand, and he's unhappy. He's just little. Uh,
poor thing.
this isn't gonna. Can I just you hold on for just a minute?
Yeah, go get the dog's bone. You got to do that. Go get it. The poor doggy is over there going, Mommy, can I please have my bone? I've had my breakfast. I've been a good puppy. Now it's time for me to have my morning dessert. So the doggy is getting his bone. So when I was thinking about leadership in terms of the single shingle, what was going on for me was the leading in a team environment, especially when we're on virtual, right? So my leadership team is a virtual team, and I'm not their employer. I'm really their team leader, if you will.
Right.
Yeah. So even if you are a solo owner and you're only working maybe with a VA and a few other people, that's still a team that you're leading. They're still looking to you for what you're looking for from a leader. So you were saying how there's a difference between leading and managing. Can you just give us some pointers on that?
Well, leaders always have the other people's best interests in mind. They value people. They are people who want the best for other. They want to create other leaders so that those people can go off and that's the biggest praise you can get, is that you've developed someone to where they can go out and like start their own business or do something else or get to a higher position. And managers often, if you have the manager mindset, might feel challenged by that.
Yeah.
And
Did the doggy get her bone? Or
this
his
is the
bone?
problem with having a puppy.
How old's your puppy?
He's going to be one this.
Oh, that's a puppy. What kind of doggy is he?
He's a cowboy corgi. he's,
So I know what a corgi is, but what's a cowboy corgi?
he's part mini Aussie or mini American Shepherd is what they're really called. But
Oh, how cute! How
yes,
cute! Did he get
yes,
the bone?
he did. I got him a new one.
That's great. Now he's still looking for the old one.
Yes, he was back looking for the old one. I'm so sorry.
No, 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 that's okay. So tell us about neuro-leadership coaching and the
Okay.
neuro-encoding training that Dr. Amen certified you with. Tell us a little more about that. It's how the brain works in
So
relation to business.
Dr. Amen actually he does the hardware part of it. And Joseph McClendon is the neuroencoding guy. So Joseph McClendon, oh my gosh.
No worries, no worries. We have a puppy. We all get it.
Joseph McClendon is a sidekick with I'm not going to think of his name now. Anyway, Dr. Amen does the hardware. Joseph McClendon does the software. And the two of them, I've gotten certifications and training with both of them because I'm a brain geek, plain and simple. I just love all things brain. And when I, studied with John, I studied leadership, but behind leadership is a mindset of how you are going to be with people, who you are, and how that's going to look. And so I got way more into the mindset piece behind the leadership. So neuroencoding is it's a smash up of psychocybernetics and concept therapy, behavior therapy.
Which kind of therapy?
Concept therapy. It's the stickman thought process. It's Dr. Thurman Fleet developed the concept therapy where you
He wants you to pick him up.
no, he's back at that bone again. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. So wait a second. So you said psychoneuronetics?
Psychocybernetics.
Okay.
Psychocybernetics by Max Small.
Yeah, no, I don't.
It's a book. So I wonder if letting him out would be helpful.
So it's a combination of psychocybernetics, and then what was the other thing you mentioned?
So concept therapy by Thurman Fleet.
Okay, great. So what do these things do into my brain in terms of mindset and leadership?
So knowing how your thoughts are processed and thoughts become feelings, feelings become actions, and actions create results. That's Thurman Fleet's thing. And all of our subconscious thoughts are put there a lot by other people and experiences by the time you're 8 years old. So often we're adults working from an 8-year-old mindset. Before 8, you don't have a filter on that. It just is all, it just absorbed by the subconscious. So, oh my gosh. I think a dog needs to go outside. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead. So here's what that little bit that we just got to talk about, where thoughts become feelings and feelings become actions. So I don't ever want to argue with scientists.
Yay.
Yay, I was just saying that thoughts become feelings and
Yeah.
feelings become actions.
Uh-huh.
And that is one way. The other way is, and not arguing with scientists, but I do know from my reality that if I sit on the couch and think, I'm going to go write those emails. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go write those emails. But it doesn't happen until I actually take the action. So sometimes in my world, the action creates the feeling that gets me moving as well. So, it's both ways, I think. For me, it's get up and do it. Don't wait till you feel it. Because if I wait till I feel it, I'm not gonna feel it. I might as well
Yeah.
just get up and do those dishes. I'm not gonna sit here and go, oh, I really want to do the dish. No, it's just get up and do it. So there's that too. It's, some thoughts, feelings, and actions all work together. And
Uh-huh.
sometimes they switch their order about what you
They
got to
do.
do. So that's the
I
thing.
kind of
Did
see
you?
it secular,
Yes.
a circular kind of a thing that the thing that made you get up is the thought that I need to get this done, or I can plow through these emails or whatever it was, or this is more important than sitting on the couch. So it was a thought. And then, yeah, and at the end, if you get the emails done, what's big in neuroencoding is celebrate that, give yourself a pat on the back. We don't celebrate ourselves nearly enough.
Well, that's the truth. In fact, that's one of the first things we do. Uh, we have a membership called Momentum, and every Monday we get together, and that's one of the first things we do is celebrate because we tend to focus on what didn't work
Right.
rather than what did. So how do I turn that around? That's a really good question. How do I make sure that I
Well,
look for those wins that I've had and not just what I didn't do well?
the whole concept of neuroencoding is to create a process to quickly change your thinking so that you automatically default to the positive, to your best self, so that you can go further faster. That's really that's the whole purpose in it, is the negative thoughts aren't going to leave. They're still going to be there. But how quickly will you, first of all, notice them, and then you have some strategies to get past that and to default back to the positive, so that you're not stuck in that. I have a mentor who says, while you're in the pit, don't stop to decorate it. Um, let's
And
go.
that's Dr. Amen. Did I say it right this time?
Amen. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Amen calls those ants, automatic
Right.
negative,
He
uh,
does.
yeah, thoughts. So when you know you're having an automatic negative thought, is there a tactic for you to catch it and reverse it?
Yeah, and that's what I do with my coaching, is I teach a lot of different strategies for you to get out of that place and move on. And we create what's called scotomas. They're little vacuum spaces between your story that you're telling yourself and where you want to go. Create that little space, and then you can change your thinking quickly. Uh, Scotoma is like when you're sitting and thinking, oh, I've got to go get something from the kitchen. And you stand up and you go to the kitchen, you can't remember what you're doing. So when you stood up, you created a scotoma, a space in your thinking. And that's why you can't remember. So then you have to go back and backtrack and, okay, what was I thinking before I stood up?
Judy Herman, Judy Herman is the brain entertainer, and she works with people to keep their cognitive abilities. And one of the suggestions she gave me for that was when you stand up, say out loud why you're standing up. So I'm
There you
getting
go.
up now to go into the kitchen to get a glass of water. And when you say that, you avoid the "what did I come in here for" syndrome. Right?
Yes. Yeah, you didn't have the scotoma. You filled the space.
Yeah, so that's, oh, so I see. So the scotoma is the empty space between your thought and the action.
Right.
Ah, okay.
Or your
Okay,
thought and your
gotcha.
next thought.
Okay, so it's that empty space, and by filling the empty space with "I'm going to get a glass of water," the scotoma doesn't happen. Therefore, when I get to the kitchen, I remember.
There you go.
So fascinating, isn't it?
It is.
The little things. Savannah says, "I gotta try that." It's it's catching those negative thoughts, which also is something that we want to make sure we're doing. So there are any ways that you, when you can catch yourself and break the pattern in the, as you have that thought?
Well, you mean with the getting the peas or the glass of water or
No, but a negative thought. So like,
a
let's say
negative
you have
thought?
an ant, one of those automatic negative thoughts.
Okay.
Like for example, I wake up in the morning and I look out the window and it's raining. And I say to myself, great, this is going to be a terrible day because it's raining. Right? So that's an automatic negative thought about a situation.
So if you notice it, you have, first of all, you have to notice it. And that's what NLP teaches you to do. I know Nancy does this a lot, notice what you're thinking. You have to know that it's there in order to fix it. So you notice what it is and you learn to do that when you make it a habit. It's creating those little habits, and so notice the thought and then go, well, that's interesting. I like to not think that it's a negative thought. That's an interesting theory. Is that really what I want to think today? So, just
Ah,
yeah. So
and
being
you can,
non-judgmental about it is important because they're just thoughts and they don't have meaning until we give them meaning. So a
yeah.
rainy day for you might be a negative thought, and a rainy day for someone who's in a desert might be yes.
Yeah. So do you suggest, so first of all, I wrote it down. Notice it. Notice it. That's the most important thing. If you don't notice it, there's nothing you can do about it.
Well,
So
it's
it's
not going to
about,
go away as fast.
exactly. Then acknowledge it in a non-judgmental way. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Or, oh, I heard that. Or, what was that? But not, well, I'm going to just get more madder about it. It's not that. It's about just acknowledging it with no judgment. And then asking yourself, is that really true? Or is that really how I want to feel? Or is that
Mhm.
really, I like, is that really true? And the most important thing is to not be judgmental about it. Because if you judge it good or bad, that's going to just exacerbate the situation, I would
That's
imagine.
it. Yeah. What's the next steps I can do to make it a great day? You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I know that you're doing a workshop, a webinar coming up.
I have a webinar coming up. Yeah. It's called Uniquely You, Discovering Your I Am. One of my other things is knowing your identity and your purpose are fundamental to making decisions and being uniquely you. And so I'm doing an identity. I'm teaching an identity exercise that's from neuroencoding in that webinar.
Okay, and who's the webinar for? Like, what's the type of person that this would be a good webinar to attend? What am I going to get out of it?
So you're going to get a uh, a true meaning of your identity or your future best self and who you are and what you were created to do and why you're doing that and a process for impressing that into your brain, mind, whatever.
So it helps me identify what I really want.
What you want and who, yeah, what you want you to be. Yeah. or who you want you to be. So you're looking at what you're doing, who you are, some adjectives, and the purpose behind those.
I see. I see. So how would I know that this is going to be something that is good for me? Is there anything in particular? Maybe I have a yearning, or maybe I'm not really happy in what I'm doing. Like, what's going on for me that this is going to fix?
Well, I'm happy and I actually love this exercise. It's so what it does is it uplifts you, it gives you confidence, it supports your thinking patterns, it actually increases your ability to think great things for yourself. And with neuroencoding, while you're saying things, you're moving because, we exist on three planes: spiritual, spirit, mind, and body. And so while we're thinking and while we're doing a mental exercise, we're getting the messages. And while we're moving, that is like cement on those thoughts. It's like attaching an emotion to it, cements a thought as well. So movement is very important because it's using all pieces of the body, all parts of our existence on the three planes. So it's just the same as with the journaling. If you type it, it's not the same as writing.
Why is that?
It's a neuro hand and forming the letters. All of those things work together to make that a more, I'm not going to say meaningful, but you manifest things more. What you write, you invite. How's that?
I like
what
that.
you write, you invite. And so writing things in a journal is so important for many reasons. And, another one is just because a year later, you can look back to see what you were writing and see how many of those things really actually happened. And that is, woo-hoo, celebrate.
So the uniquely you will really support me in kind of taking off the ceiling, if you will. And because a leader is a visionary, I think that's a
Right.
big difference between a leader and a manager. A manager is literally managing the day to day. A leader is seeing the vision for the future and releasing that to the world and supporting people in supporting you in the vision, right? It's again getting people excited about that vision as well.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. I also know there are different personality types. And as a disc person,
Yeah.
The C personality isn't necessarily a visionary, but they're leaders because they are the researchers, they're the engineers, they're leaders in other ways. So I'm not sure you need to be a visionary. I think you need to value people and just be there for them and know that you're going to have to make some sacrifices for that. And I don't know, those kind of things. But I can see where you're coming from as a visionary, because when you're doing a program like yours, in order to lead people, you need to be able to see the vision and what you can offer next. And that's part of the entrepreneur's journey is always keeping up with the times and offering what's going to work for the clients in this day and age. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, one of the things we said was neuroleadership can support you in becoming a better communicator, a better speaker. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, being the leader, of course, you're going to think more about others and not less of yourself. but think of yourself less often and more about others like that. And so you're thinking about how's the best way to talk to people, because people, they're, DISC has a platinum rule: do unto others as they would like to have done. And so you're communicating to people in their style, and neuroleadership helps you think about what's going to be the best thing for that person and how can I communicate that in the best way. And when you have a positive mindset, you're going to be a better communicator anyway, in my opinion.
Absolutely, because whatever you put out to the world is either going to cause inspiration or demotivation.
Right.
Right? So you might as well stay positive. What are
So
some of the, yeah, go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
heard a story the other day about a guy came up and bumped a gal with or it doesn't matter, with a cup of coffee, and the question was what spilled out, what spills out of the cup, and most people said, well, coffee, and well, what if I had teeth, and that would have spilled out. So the whole story was about what is coming out of you when you get bumped, what's filling you. And so if
Oh,
someone bumps your cup, what's going to come out? I thought it was,
that's, I used to say that the analogy for me, very simple, was very much like that. Like a lemon, when you squeeze it, what's really there is what comes out. So
mm-hmm,
when you are squeezed as a
mm-hmm,
human,
mm-hmm.
how do you react? Are you calm, cool, and collected, like I was talking about when I was having all those technological problems? Or are you, oh my God, this is terrible. I can't find my mute button. Where is the recording? Oh my gosh, how many parts? It's like you go off, and that's the squeeze. How do you react when you're squeezed? And that's what we want to be able to control, because you, as a leader, yes, we want to be vulnerable because our strength lies in our vulnerability. When I'm vulnerable, it gives you the right to do the same. Yet, we want to be a role model. So when you're being squeezed, the last thing you want to do is go off,
Right.
right? So the mind things that you do support you in how to be more leadership like, I guess is the right word, even. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what it's about. All right, cool. And then you had something else that you wanted to share with our listeners and viewers. So tell us about that too.
Right. I'm doing a Zoom teaching on creating your own journal, daily journal. And I showed, I'm a crafter. And so this is one of them. This is mine. And they have little inserts in here. And what I'm going to do is when you're registered for that, it's $15. I'll send you a survey to find out kind of what your color scheme and your theme is. You might not like my vintage look. I do have this nice frilly one that says create on the front, or we can put different words on it. And anyway, send you all the materials and you can craft along with me.
And so I'm going to make my own journal.
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love
it's
it. All right.
personal. It's for you. It's you made it. There's celebrate your success and then write all your wonderful, wonderful things in it. I choose these half composition notebooks because then I don't feel like I have to write more.
Well, I just put the link in the chat on Zoom, and I'm going to do the same thing on Facebook. And I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and click on those links now if you're at your laptop or if you're at a computer. because what you want to do is when you click on that right now, it's going to bring it right up into your browser so that you don't have to worry about trying to get it again later, because later happens. So here's what we're going to do. I want to invite all of you to ask any questions you have. So it's about leadership, it's about your business, it's about what's working, it's about what's not. And if you have a question and you're here with me on Zoom, go ahead and raise your hand electronically. If you are on the telephone, you just have to hit *6 and that will bring you on. And if you have a question and you are on Facebook, just go ahead and put it in the comments and I will see it. So let me go ahead and start with Pastor Darlene. Pastor
Hello.
Darlene Thorne, how are you this morning?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Good to have you with me.
Man, this is so good. Nancy, thank you for all of the wonderful information that you shared. Um, I had a question in regards to when you talked about our uh, the way we think in our neuro portion. What would you say that a person can do to change a negative thought to a positive thought? Because a lot of times we think something negative and we kind of like go down a rabbit hole. And
Yep.
how do you, what's the point that you actually make that shift from negative to positive and then carry it out? Because I know that there has to be a system with which you don't remain walking down the same road, but you want to go in a different path.
Mm. Well, that's a great question. And so we talked earlier about noticing the thought, and then going, well, that's interesting. And then, is that thought serving me? And it happens in a nanosecond when you develop a habit of doing that. That's basically, if you look at tiny habits or atomic habits, it's one little step every day that gets you closer to where you want to go. So the more you notice and acknowledge and then go, oh, well, here's how I choose to think every day. Making a different choice. And the difference between what's going to serve you and what's not going to serve you. Your subconscious is always right. Just ask it. And you're going to prove it wrong because you're going to put the different right answer in.
Exactly.
So it's been a long process for me. I'm going to tell you, but noticing was my first step.
Yeah. And you mentioned atomic habits, and it's absolutely true. I've read James Clear's book. We've actually gone through a study in my clubhouse. We went through the book study of that book. And one of the things that he said is that when you want to make a difference and make a change, you make a change ahead of time. Like if you want to become a reader, when you make up your bed in the morning, whatever book you want to read, you put it on your pillow so that when you get ready to go to bed at night, the book is already there and you're already creating some new habits. So I'm really thankful that you're sharing this with us today. This is so good. I've gone over and I'm going to finish signing up because Trish called my name. So I'm going to go
thank you.
Gonna go finish signing up. And thank you, Trish. This has been so good. Nancy, you guys are amazing. I appreciate this time.
Thank you, Pastor Darlene. Thanks for being with us. Yeah, that whole thing about noticing it, I think is the biggest thing. So I'm going to make a challenge to everybody who's here this morning. Your challenge is just today, pay attention to your thoughts. Just today. And do it a little chunk at a time is fine. An hour at a time, notice your thoughts. And if you find yourself at 2 hours from now and you went, oh, I didn't notice any of my thoughts, go back and look at how you're feeling And that will help you go, well, what were my thoughts? And it'll also get you back. So just today, notice your thoughts, be non-judgmental, make an acknowledgement of it, not agreeing, but an acknowledgement. Oh, that's interesting. Or, oh, how interesting is that? And then ask yourself, is that really true? Or is that really how I want to feel today? And notice what's happening. So just for today, notice. Very good.
It's
Laura
good.
Barker, thank you so much for being here. I see your hand.
Yes, ma'am. Oh my gosh. Nancy Jones, you are speaking my language. I
Yeah.
I am a brain geek too. I love all of this stuff. And science is just showing us that we really have control if we choose to take the reins, right? We can
Right.
rewire our brains.
There you go.
I love that you pointed out it's been a long process.
Mm.
I don't want people to, and I know you don't want people to have the impression that you can just kind of go in, have a better thought once, and boom, you're done, right? It's like, I know you've done it for a long time. I've worked on it for a long time. And I put in the chat, one of my favorite things is that I know myself. And like, I bet by halfway through the day, I've stopped paying attention. I don't know about you, but we get busy. It's like, oh my gosh. I literally set an alarm for like midway through the day, just that says, check in with my thoughts. It's like, oh,
Okay.
pay attention, because it is a habit we have to develop, right?
It is.
Sure.
It is.
What was your process, or to be able to get to where you are now in being aware of your thoughts? I know it started with awareness, but how did you develop that habit of awareness?
I didn't even know I had thoughts like that until I did a little self-hypnosis group, and had a guide take me through self-hypnosis, where it was a seventh path that they call them echoes. You make a statement and you hear what comes back to you from yourself. I'm telling you, that was an extremely enlightening journey for me. And what it did was it showed me that I needed to pay more attention, because those thoughts were always there. I just didn't understand how that worked. And I also have a counseling background, so I've been through the whole counseling realm. Coaching works way better for me, because we're looking for strengths, we're looking to the future, we're working in your strength zone, and so it's been many modalities. And when I came upon the neuroencoding, and the NLP, I added movement and stopping the pattern. And so you learn to say, put the brakes on here. And it's just becomes habitual after you do it for a while. It's just like, I don't want to, this is challenging. I love using the word challenging instead of horrible or terrible, because we all have challenges, but it's not, I'm not going to decorate that pit while I'm down there, So it was just a choice I made to be a better person. I was in a really bad marriage and became somebody, totally different. And it's just, I'm just so much, I want to be rich, happy, healthy, and financially prosperous. So, hey, let's think rich thoughts.
What I hear there, Nancy, is persistence and diligence, right?
There you go.
Keep at it. I mean, that is absolutely the key. So thank you so much for bringing this to our awareness, and so that we can begin to have those better thoughts. And I would say one other thing. You talked about the three parts of us, spirit, mind, and body, and getting them all involved. It's about disrupting that habitual habits. We've developed these thought patterns over a good number of years, depending on how old you are, right? They're not going to change overnight. But
No.
one thing I found really helpful for me was to make sure I'm also checking in with my emotion. And so, if I'm not feeling happy, right, then I'm going to be aware. Okay, why? What's the thought that's keeping me from being happy? And sometimes the only thing I can do is just barely raise that emotion by saying something like, um, well, even though this looks bad right now, I know it really isn't. Like that's just a tiny little shift, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those tiny little emotional shifts seem to help us move up. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but anyway, that's all.
Yeah, that's also a great, thanks for adding that. And I usually, if I'll say yet, I haven't done that yet,
Yeah.
or this hasn't happened yet. Because I don't ever want to put out that it's not going to happen, because we're capable of everything. We've been given so many great gifts and strengths. And I'm a Jesus follower. So I think, when you take one step, like you said, that the resources come to you, you have to reach out and start working at it. And then God fully resources you, or the universe, whatever you want to go for. I just, the reticular activating system in your brain that has you filter for what you're looking for. Yeah. I'm a brain geek. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Laura. Appreciate you being with us, and thank you so much for the great questions.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, I have somebody from the 754 area code. Your line is open. Go ahead and ask your question or make your comment. 754-800, *6 on your phone. All right, then I'm going to go next to Elisa Colosso.
Thank
Hi,
you
Elisa, how
so
are you this morning?
much. Thank you, Trish. Thank you, Nancy, for so much knowledge, so much good information. One thing that I like to share about thoughts, it's that I once heard a phrase, and I believe it's from Louise Hay, and she said, "I'm not my thoughts." And that really resonated because it gives me this sense of peace that I don't always have to engage with my thoughts, specifically the negative ones. Like I can take aside from it, I can maybe observe those thoughts and just dig a little bit deeper and ask and start asking questions. So that has really helped me. And the other thing is, like Laura was saying, your state of emotion, that has been really key for me to really know how am I feeling in that moment. Like, for example, I know in the evenings, like towards the nighttime, I'm already tired. I'm not gonna have the same patience I would have with my kids in the morning. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna give myself some grace. And even though I'm feeling frustrated or tired right here and right now, I'm doing my best. So I also
Yeah.
am a brain gig and I love brain work. So thank you, thank you.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, emotions have are, and we talked earlier about it's kind of a cyclical thing where your emotions can create thoughts, your thoughts can create emotions.
Yes.
They work together, and you're right. Knowing your emotional state and your peak times is super important as well. Yeah.
Yeah, your peak
Totally.
times. Elisa, you said it perfectly when you said, it's the end of the day. I'm tired.
Right.
I know that I don't have the patience I had at 10 o'clock this morning. So that
Right.
kind of self-awareness gets you very far, as opposed to you lose it every night because you're not self-aware that you're tired. So
Right,
it's
right. And
perfect.
I do tell my kids, Mommy's not at her best. She's tired, or she can't tell a story right now, but let's just listen to music, or
Yeah,
because I can't play the perfect mom every time, or
that's
the
right.
perfect businesswoman or whatever.
Well, you are perfect because in every moment you're perfect. That's all there is
Yeah.
to it. Thanks, Elisa. Appreciate you being with me, my friend.
Thank
Have a
you. Thank you
fantastic
so
day.
much. You
You're
too.
so
Thanks.
welcome. Peg Duchesne,
Good
welcome to the
morning,
call.
Trish.
So glad you're here.
Happy to be here as always. Good morning, Trish. Thank you. Nancy, what a great conversation we're having. This is awesome. I love the fill the space so you remember why you're walking into the kitchen. So many of my clients say, oh, social media is such a time suck. And I go to Facebook to do something and they forget why they're there. So, or they go to LinkedIn to look up somebody and they start looking at their notifications and they spend 40 minutes on LinkedIn and then they get off and they go, oh, I never looked up the person I went to. So I'm going to use that tip about, say the name of the person you're getting ready to look up or talk about what post you're getting ready to make so that you don't lose that time and think social media is a time suck because, there's so many distractions. Oh, look, squirrel, right? But if we keep our mind focused on what we want to accomplish in that next few moments, we won't have that onset of attention deficit disorder creep in and distract us. Silver object, shiny object, all that. So thank you for this conversation. So great. I did sign up for your workshop. I have a conflict. I'm assuming there will be a replay. Is that right?
I could do that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I think I can attend the second half, but I have a weekly Tuesday obligation. So, and your journals look so very cool.
Oh, thank you.
I think I have plans on that Saturday, but what a fun activity. So well done, Trish. You're such a terrific interviewer and we love your puppy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nancy.
So Peg, what was I going to say? Oh, see, now I thought puppy.
Yeah,
I had a scotoma. Oh, social media is designed to suck you in. It's like TV commercials. They're all have the design to do that. And I think knowing that also and being aware of that and going in like, this is going to try and suck me in, but I'm going to persevere. I'm going to be the victor here. Hey.
I love that. And perseverance is my word of the year, Nancy Jones. So you nailed it. Thank you.
Yay. Fantastic.
There you
Thank
go.
you so much, Peg. All right. So I have your sister from another Mr. Olivia Jones.
There you go.
How you doing, Olivia?
Good
So
morning.
good to
Good
see you.
morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Keeping up with the Joneses. Yes, indeed. I love this conversation because, and I have a puppy, by the way. So his name is Beasley. He's so spoiled. Oh my gosh. I'm loving hearing the puppy in the background.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I wanted to share about when I think some of my greatest takeaways from the conversation has been on being self-led. When I think about leading myself away from negative thoughts and toward more of those positive thoughts, because my thoughts become my actions. My thoughts become my feelings, and my feelings become my actions.
There you go.
So if I can lead myself to more positive thoughts, then I can have more positive feelings and I can begin to act in more positive ways and also work toward those goals and objectives that will bring me my greatest desires. And so this conversation gives me that, like, oh, okay, yes, there's that leadership piece. As I learn to better lead myself, I can also be able to better influence others as well. And it is powerful because of the fact that now I can take hold of the things that I most desire and being the best version of me, being that resilient person, being that overcomer, being that confident woman, all of those things. And the power lies within me to do those things. So,
yep, it's a you and you game.
Yes. So I signed up for the workshop and
oh, nice.
I'm looking forward to participating and going into a new dimension and experiencing some new things. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for your comments. And I love your thoughts and, leading your thought world too. And, if you haven't read John Maxwell, I would really recommend the 21 Laws.
Yeah, the 21 Laws is a great place to start. It's wonderful. Thank you so much, Olivia, for being with us. Now, before I go to our last caller, Mary Jane Charles, everyone is asking me to see your puppy.
Okay, we can listen to Mary Jane. I'll open the door and we'll see.
All right, Mary Jane, tell us what's on your mind, my lovely friend, this morning.
Aren't you lovely to have me here? So yesterday was a usual negative day. It wasn't, I knew what I was dealing with, flat tire, dead battery, and you sit for 2.5 hours. That's negative. But I was nice. What were you gonna do? So I ate all their treats. That's easy. Day to day, I have this. I've got a gorgeous schedule, a gorgeous calendar. Bottom line, I do maybe a third of it. And I'm wondering if I know I self-sabotaged, but is procrastination a secret negative thing?
Thought. That's a good question. So she's trying to pick up the doggy, but the doggy's like, I don't want any part of this. I want you to know I'm here, but I don't want to see anybody.
He's perseverating on that stupid bone that's behind the TV.
So he's a black dog. He's got a little bit of white under his chest, under his neck.
Yeah, he's a little black corgi. He's oh my gosh. Go back outside. Go on.
Yeah, go back outside. He doesn't want to show up. He doesn't want everybody to see him, but I hope you saw him a little bit.
Yeah, that's good.
So
Dr.
Mary
Roz,
Jane,
I'm going to come to you next. I did not see your hand. And the question is procrastination just another ant?
it is. It's one of the thieves of your dreams. There are 7 thieves of your dreams: procrastination, hesitation, fear of failure, fear of success, rejection, self-doubt, and imposter syndrome. And procrastination is a perfectionism thing usually.
Oh.
It's about wanting to do everything right. And if I don't know how to do it right, I'm not going to do it at all. Or it's a negative ant.
I'll get John's book today. Thank you.
Yes, Chris, yes, get John's book because it definitely, Mary Jane, that was so insightful of you to realize that procrastination is just another negative thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All it is.
I'm aware of it, and I am talking to myself during the day, so I'll just talk to myself more.
Talk to someone else, Mary Jane. Sometimes we need someone else to support us, lift us up, and reinforce that I can do this.
Okay.
Wonderful.
And it's
Thank
okay
you.
to procrastinate sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I have 2 more people who have questions or comments.
Okay.
Would it be okay if we stayed on an extra minute? Because I'd love to hear from Dr. Roz in Beverly Beach.
Works for me.
Awesome. Dr. Roz, welcome to the call. Dr. Roz, there you go. You should be able to say something now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
This has been weird today on the technology. And look, you know when NJ talked about technology, it just started going crazy for me over here. But I love you. You're loved, appreciated, celebrated, valued, and most cherished.
I'm so glad you said that.
When we're working with those 21 laws, I've met John Maxwell. I had not had the opportunity to do the training up under him directly, but as Nancy was talking, it made me think about his other book, How Successful People Think. And
Right.
Nancy, when you started this off, you mentioned that leadership comes in, well, this is my add-on, puzzle pieces, but you said leadership comes in everybody. So when I saw my sisters sharing about managers still have their level of communication, but it made me think about one of my favorite quotes by John Maxwell. It says, a great leader's courage to fulfill his vision comes from passion, not position. And when you were talking about visionary, but then Trish was sharing her perspective, leadership comes at every aspect, even if it is for that nanosecond. It's that unctioning or that urge to jump in if we feel like there isn't an answer, but I fulfill the answer or be a solutionist to that moment in time. I love leadership, but when I was younger, I did not. Someone had shared in the group about childhood situations. I used to stutter. I felt like I had low comprehension. I was last to do a test. My mom went and got permission for me to take the test. Then I felt like I was being viewed upon. But it comes to also to that last part when we make up our own tips to help us to understand how our thought process is. Well, one of mine is, and I call it the grace because I think I got 5 of them, but they just came a long time throughout the years of training myself. Give yourself grace and patience, really understanding that self compassion for who we are. And when we know thyself, we're able to understand our worth and our value in a leadership role in any given time. But yet, everybody does not, I tell my children, everybody don't have to like Auntie Roz, but Auntie Roz does not have to condemn herself because someone else is like that, because everybody didn't care for Jesus, right? But
Right.
I yield the mic. That's my share. I love you, Trish Carr, Trish to this, and Nancy J. Y'all were awesome this morning. Thank you for allowing me to share. And
I
I
love
am
you.
signing up. I'm on the phone, so I can't do multitasking, else I would have lost or y'all would have heard. I don't know. I love y'all.
Love y'all. It's all the links are on the Facebook page in the Women's Prosperity Network open Facebook group. You'll find all the links there. Roz,
Thank you,
thanks so
Trish.
much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate all your words.
Yes, love you, love you, love you. Before I bring on Beverly Beach, April Heath, who's a licensed massage therapist, had a question. She says she finds a lot of people who have a kink in the right side of their neck. And since the left hemisphere of the brain controls the right side of the body, she's wondering if the dominance of the male-dominated society, logic, linear thinking has led to this knot. And she's recommended that people try something feminine, right brain, by painting with their non-dominant hand. She says, am I giving my massage clients hokey advice, or is there something to this?
No, that's an NLP thing, is to open and become more aware of things, is to do things. Like if you always cross your arms like this, try crossing them like that, and then the way you put your fingers together. Yeah, so that's a very good exercise to do I don't know about the feminine and masculine part about it. That's not my area of expertise,
Right.
but I do know opening up. And I also know that trauma comes in and puts itself in places too, and stress, like you were talking about your back,
Yes.
Trish. Those kind of things come in and they nest in a place where you give them a nice welcome mat. So stop making it welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Good question, April. So it's
Yeah.
break the pattern somehow. That's really good. Thank you, April. Great, great, great question. All right, let me go to Beverly Beach, who's been waiting patiently. Beverly, the mic is yours. Beverly, go ahead and unmute. Oh, she had probably stepped away. I'm so sorry. All right, Beverly, sorry we missed you this time. Nancy Jones, thank you. What a robust conversation, all about how we can take control. Remember the challenge today. Pay attention to your thoughts, notice, acknowledge, ask the question, is that really true, or is that really how I want to feel? And make sure there's no judgment. Because I know that when I get a negative thought, I'm going, oh, there you go again. I'm already blaming myself. So just notice with no judgment. Thank you, Nancy, so much for being with us.
You're welcome. Could I just briefly go over the 7 thieves? I saw someone in the chat wanted the 7 thieves of your dreams.
Yes, and where can I find that?
Oh, I do a webinar on that. I don't really know where you can find it. I don't know that it's published anywhere. but I do a
please
webinar.
do. Christy just said, yes, please. Coach Kerry was asking for it. So yes, yes, yes. Go ahead and tell us.
Okay, they are self-doubt, hesitation, procrastination, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of rejection, and imposter syndrome.
Ah, imposter syndrome.
Those are the 7 things that will steal your dreams.
Yeah, and Chrissy's saying imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. That's where you think everybody's going to find out you're not quite as qualified as you think you are. That's where you think, I don't know anything. These people know more than me. That's
Yeah,
where right?
you think, yeah, you say you're the expert, but in your head you're going, am I really the expert?
Right. And that's one of those thoughts for you to consider today. And imposter syndrome is felt by, the last statistic I saw was 86% of the population. I have a quote by Meryl Streep. You've heard of her. She's won a few Oscars. She says, I don't know why anybody would want to watch me in a movie. That's what she says. Like, that's imposter syndrome. We all experience it one time or another. So thank you so much for that. The 7 are self-doubt, hesitation, procrastination, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of rejection, and imposter syndrome. And I will go ahead and make sure I put those on the Facebook page as well as into the chat so that we all have it. And notice them, because today we're noticing our thoughts. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. Thanks for the extra time today. And thanks for being with us a little longer, Nancy Jones. I so appreciate you. Be sure, everybody, to join us at the training, the Uniquely You webinar, and also join Nancy for crafting your own journal. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. Nancy Jones, thank you so much.
Thanks. And thanks to everyone for being such kind words. I appreciate it.
Yes, and go take care of your puppy and give him all a kiss from us. I
Yeah.
hope you all have a fantastic day. Make it a Wow Wednesday. And we'll see you here again next week with Women's Prosperity Network. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you being with us. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye, everybody.